MATCHROOM CEO and promoter Eddie Hearn says Claressa Shields is not the GOAT. She's not even the best in this era. That would be Katie Taylor. Stay tuned, coming up next.
Hey, this is Cassie, and you're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.
Shout out to Blue Blood Sports TV.
You're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.
Shout outs to Blue Blood Sports TV.
You're watching Blue Blood Sports TV. Hola, habla Cindy, está viendo Deportes TV.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So Eddie Hearn, MATCHROOM CEO and promoter, stated that Claressa Shields is not the GOAT. She's not even the best of this era. Currently, that would be Katie Taylor. I beg to disagree with Eddie Hearn. I think that Claressa Shields' amateur record and her professional record rivals that of Katie Taylor, and the fact that she's undisputed and beat the #1 woman boxer in the sport of boxing, being Christina Hammer, who was undefeated. And she beat her very, very convincingly, very, very easily. She won damn near every round against Christina Hammer. Now, Katie Taylor has a huge fight coming up this weekend. She has a chance to become undisputed, as well as she takes on Parsons, right, this Saturday at Madison Square Garden, right? So Katie Taylor has a huge feat in front of her, right? She has a decorated amateur background as well. You know, she's won gold medals in the Olympics. She's won gold medal, in the World Women's Boxing Championship. She won 5 gold medals there. You know, so she definitely has a decorated amateur background. But Claressa Shields won 2 gold medals, right? She gold medaled twice in the Olympics. She had an amateur record. She had 78 fights. She won 77 of them. She went 77-1, right? So, and she, like I stated, she's already become one of only 6 people in the entire sport of boxing to become undisputed and hold all 4 major titles, all 4 sanctioned bodies, that being the WBC, the WBA, the IBF, and the WBO, right? And Claressa Shields holds all 4. Other fighters that done so are the likes of Terrence Crawford, Bernard Hopkins, Jermain Taylor, Cecilia Brækhus, and forgetting a few offhand, but I know that she's one of 6. So it's Jermain Taylor. I know Jermain Taylor's one, you know, Terrence Crawford, Cecilia Brækhus, Bernard Hopkins, you know, and I'm not remembering offhand, right? But with that said, anyway, we're sticking to the women at this point in time. We're talking about Claressa Shields and her achievements, right? And so with that said, you know, Eddie Hearn stated that, you know, Katie Taylor is the best fighter in this era right now. She's the best fighter in the world. And Eddie Hearn is supposed to say that because Eddie Hearn is Katie Taylor's promoter. He's not currently Claressa Shields' promoter. Claressa Shields is promoted by Salida Promotions, and she fights on any network she so chooses to, right? But she fought in the biggest fight in women's boxing history against Christina Hammer, and she dominated Christina Hammer, to say the least. Absolutely dominated Christina Hammer. Wasn't even close in the biggest fight in women's sport of boxing. Now, Katie Taylor's 13-0. Claressa Shields only 9-0. At the time, Christina Hammer was 24-0, right? So that was a huge, huge fight in the sport of boxing. It was absolutely huge for women, for men, for anybody. It was a huge fight, you know, not to just limit them to women, but it was a huge fight overall. And Claressa Shields put on a hell of a performance, okay? Katie Taylor's 13-0 with 6 knockouts, you know, and she has a big fight coming up herself. You know, she's facing Delphina Parsons, and it's going to be for the IBF title. It's going to be for the WBA title. It's going to be for the WBC and the WBO. As I stated, that it's going to be for undisputed, right? But Claressa Shields went from 168 pounds to 160 pounds, right? So she held 2 titles at the super middleweight division, and now she holds all 4 titles at the regular middleweight division, right? So, you know, to say that her accomplishments are anything short of spectacular would be an understatement. And this is not to take anything away from Katie Taylor, because Katie Taylor, amateur background, is a hell of a background as well. But I would just favor Claressa Shields at this point in time. I would just favor Claressa Shields at this point in time because of weight classes. And you know, she's the bigger girl, the bigger woman, should I say. And you know, she could dominate any weight class, right? From 68 down to she's looking to face Cecilia Brækhus at a catchweight. Cecilia Brækhus fights at 47. Claressa Shields is looking to get to 54, you know, and face Cecilia Brækhus. She currently fights at 160. She's looking to get to 54 and face Cecilia Brækhus. That would be the battle of undisputeds, because Claressa Shields is currently the middleweight undisputed champion, and Cecilia Brækhus is currently the welterweight undisputed champion. Now, we know Katie Taylor obviously is a lightweight, but she spent the majority of her career at lightweight, where Claressa Shields is going to be, if she gets down to 54, that would be her 3rd weight class, right? Now, it would definitely be for undisputed. Cecilia Brækhus, the championship, her undisputed belts are at 47. But, you know, you will have the 47 undisputed champ and the middleweight undisputed champ meeting at 54. That would be another hell of a feat for Claressa Shields. And I would highly favor Claressa Shields to beat Cecilia Brækhus, right? With that said, I believe that Katie Taylor is too small to come up and fight Claressa Shields. But hey, you never know. Manny Pacquiao came from 118 pounds all the way up to 54, you know, quote unquote. Is really 50. He never actually got to 54 before Antonio Margarito at a catchweight of 50 when it fought 154 title, right? But with that said, you just never know. Maybe Katie Taylor eventually gets up to weight and fights Claressa Shields. We never know. But as of right now, it's not even arguable in my opinion. Is Katie Taylor a hell of a fighter? Absolutely. Is she better than Claressa Shields? Absolutely not, in my opinion. She has Claressa Shields' amateur background is just as accomplished as Katie Taylor's, if not more. She won 2 gold medals in the Olympics, right? She medaled twice, gold in the Olympics twice. Katie Taylor Olympic once. Katie Taylor did turn pro after she won the Olympics, where Claressa Shields stayed in the Olympics and captured another gold medal. But with that said, Katie Taylor did have a very decorated amateur background. As I stated, she won a couple of tournaments, gold medal in those tournaments. She's from Ireland. You know, she actually medaled 5 times in those tournaments, you know. So her career is nothing short of spectacular as well. But when comparing the two, you know, I would have to favor Claressa Shields, because if you put them in the ring, who would win? Claressa Shields obviously would win. And they would highlight the fact that she's the bigger woman in the ring. But the fact remains, you know, if that's the case, you know, and you're not dealing with heavyweights, you're dealing with middleweights. So I know when we reference the pound for pound list, you know, they don't put heavyweights on the pound for pound list, obviously, because heavyweights would defeat anybody from their division on down. So if you favored Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, or Tyson Fury as the pound for pound king, you know, it just wouldn't be fair to the other divisions. This was created, the pound for pound list was created for fighters like Sugar Ray Robinson, who were middleweights and things of that nature, and weren't reigning at the heavyweight division. So it created the pound for pound list, right? And so with that said, you know, heavyweights are usually left off of the pound for pound list. And but when mentioning Claressa Shields, when we talking about Claressa Shields, she's not a heavyweight, she's a middleweight, super middleweight. And now she's actually going down to super welterweight or junior middleweight, however you want to choose to look at it. But with that said, Katie Taylor is a lightweight. You know, is she going to move up eventually to welterweight? Possibly, right? Could she possibly move up to 54? Strong possibility. Who knows? One never knows. But as of right now, when you're favoring the two, it's not hard to pick Claressa Shields as the favorite, point blank and period. I totally disagree with Eddie Hearn, and Eddie Hearn has to say that due to the fact that he's promoter of a highly decorated fighter in Katie Taylor, who's going for Undisputed this Saturday. So that's all I got for y'all, man. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Do y'all think that Claressa Shields is the best fighter in the world? Is she the GOAT? Is she the GOAT, meaning the greatest woman of all time? That's what GOAT stands for. Is Katie Taylor the GOAT, as Eddie Hearn states? Who's the best in the world right now, right? They're both active, they're both young. So if one is the GOAT, then that means they're the best fighter in the world, right? One would favor Cecilia Brækhus as the GOAT, right? Cecilia Brækhus is currently undefeated. She's currently undisputed, right? So, she's been undisputed for quite some time, right? So people may look and say, hey, neither one of them are the GOAT, right? They may say Cecilia Brækhus is the GOAT. Who knows, right? Cecilia Brækhus fights at, like I stated, she fights at the welterweight division. She's 35-0 with 9 knockouts, but she campaigns at the welterweight division. But she's actually 5'8", so she's not a little girl. At this point in time, she's 37 years of age. And like I said, she's the undisputed champion. So, one would say that favor Cecilia Brækhus as the greatest woman of all time. Who knows, right? But let me know what y'all think. Drop a comment in the comment section. That's all I got for y'all. It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hey, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed? Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shouts out to the entire LDBC. Shouts out to New Media. Shouts out to Black Media Road. Make sure you like and share these videos. Eddie Hearn says Claressa Shields is not the greatest woman of all time. She's not the greatest fighter currently. That would be Katie Taylor, his fighter. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
The Blue Blood